Hey, welcome to Romance Happy Hour. I'm Dylann Crush, and I am here with my co-hostess, Dawn Luedecke, over there. So we also have two amazing featured authors tonight. We've got Susan Renee and Ivy Nelson, and we are super excited to get a chance to talk with both of you, which we will get to in just a couple minutes. So Dawn, you were telling us
Yeah.
before we went live, it is May 23rd, and you said
Yes.
that it snowed last night for you. So how are things going
Yes.
with you?
Happy birthday to my son because today's his birthday and he wakes up to it was probably just a couple inches here.
Just a couple
But
inches.
yeah, down
I
the
mean, that
valley
would
or up
totally,
the
like,
valley.
shut down,
Yeah,
like, Oklahoma or something, the whole
I
state,
know.
but yeah, a couple
It was-
inches. May
Up the
23rd.
valley there was 6 inches last night.
Oh.
And so my plants are not happy with me because I had them out because my daughter is graduating on Sunday. And so I'm desperately trying to get everything ready to go. And then Mother Nature is just like, okay, I'm just going to pretend that I'm holding up the middle finger because I don't know if that's like the same thing as cussing on this.
Yeah,
So
probably not. We're
Mother
probably not
Nature
gonna put
basically
that on
said,
our Facebook page. Mhm.
yeah. So, but it is supposed to be close to 70 for her graduation day, which 2 days
And
ago it was supposed to be 32. So that's way
oh,
better
well,
than
that's an
2 days
improvement.
ago. Yes. So yeah,
So,
crazy weather.
sounds like you've been busy, and have you had a chance to get any writing done?
No, I've got in-laws coming tonight, or well, they were coming tonight or possibly tomorrow. So it looks like tomorrow, which is great because then I can go after the show and quickly clean my house with the rest of my family. And so yeah, I was shopping all day for graduation presents and food and just been crazy busy. What about you though? What have you been working on?
I have a kiddo graduating this year as well, but we are not
Mm,
doing a graduation party, so woohoo!
mm,
So I'm excited about that. Um, so yeah, I've been writing. I actually had under my alter ego, Eve London, I had two books come out this month. So, and those are both steamy short novellas. Um, so yeah, so it's been a busy month over here, and I had my last chemo treatment this month. So yay!
yeah.
So things are
Deanna is
looking up here.
right. Deanna's right. She said, "You're looking well, Dylan. You're looking
Thank you,
good."
Deanna.
So you are
Yeah,
very
thanks.
perky. I saw your pink hair matching your pink shirt on your picture the other day. That was
Mhm.
awesome. I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
she's looking so cute."
Yep.
But
That one I'm calling Candy. Tonight I'm wearing Meg. So, I think I'll be sporting a couple different dues now for several months while everything kind of grows back. I think my
yeah.
hair is like maybe like a quarter of an inch long right now.
How many wigs do you have?
I've got like five because I had a couple of people send me ones that they didn't need or didn't use, and so I've got like a long blonde one, and then I have like one that's like down to here that's like pink and brown.
Mm.
And then I have this one and the pink one. So
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, do you have any other ones that are like? Are you gonna go like sport redhead? Like go totally
I don't know. That I
brown
don't
or
know. I guess
black?
people just have to come back next time and see. I'll wear a different one
Yeah.
next time. This one's easy, and then the pink one that's short is like really lightweight, and so that's nice because
Mhm.
yeah, I think it gets hot. Like, with all that fake hair, like, hanging around her neck
Mhm.
and stuff, like, it gets hot.
So you,
Sorry, we don't have
what
to
are
talk
all
about
your?
wigs tonight.
No, no, no. One more question for you. One more
Sorry.
question for you. Let us know all the names of your wigs. Do you just have the two
Well,
names? Or
I haven't named the others yet,
oh,
yeah, so I might have to name them. I finally this one I just kept calling Meg because I
yeah,
feel like it looks like Meg Ryan in the rom-com
yeah,
movies.
mhm,
And the other one of my friends named Candy because it just looks like cotton candy.
yeah.
So,
Well, you
yeah, the
should
other 2, I haven't named the other 2.
wear the next time. Wear the one with brown and pink, and maybe we can help you come up with a name for it. I
Perfect.
wanna I wanna see you as a brunette with pink
Well, it's like a dark brown, like almost, yeah, and then it's like ombre. It's really cute. But they have bangs, and I'm just so not used to bangs, you know? Everybody went and got bangs not that long ago. Ivy's got
I
bangs.
did.
Dawn got bangs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
Well, I
weird
had
to
to.
have bangs.
My mother told me I looked like I was going bald.
Aren't
And so
moms
I had to
awesome?
go. Yeah, they're so nice. Super, super honest.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to get bangs.
Uh-huh. Yep. What is the most backhanded compliment your mom has ever given you? I would love to know from our readers tonight.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
a good one. That's
yeah.
Dylan's challenge
Well,
tonight.
you
She's
know,
giving you all a challenge.
it was Mother's Day, so. All right. I feel like we should get on to meeting our guests. Should we do that?
Yes.
All right. Susan, you are going to read first for us tonight. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about what you write? And I don't know, your office back there looks super fun. I love, is that wallpaper?
Yes, it is, and it's
Oh my
brand
gosh.
spanking new.
Oh, I love it.
Super excited.
It's very colorful.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Susan Renee. I write mostly contemporary romance and a little bit of small town, a little bit of rom-com. And right now I'm in my sports romance era. So I'm doing a lot of hockey romance. And that's what I've been working on. I just finished my first hockey romance series, and there will be another in the near future. But yeah, so I kind of do a little bit of everything. I don't really stay in my own lane. I kind of jump a little bit. But it's all usually, it's all steamy romance that is relatable characters in sometimes humorous situations. So, I try to keep it fun, but also a little steamy and sweet at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is my office. It's brand new. If you're somebody who's been following me before, this you'll see before and after pictures on my Facebook page. But this used to be kind of a kids' playroom for my kids and kind of a catch-all. All of our junk just ended up here. And I said to my husband, as my hockey series kind of got a little bigger this past year, and I was like, look, I'm kind of running this business from my dining room table, and I would really love a space that I could just be creative in. And so, yeah, it's amazing. Like, my husband outdid himself, and I'm blessed. Like, it's a dream. And I sit in here and I just smile all the time. So anyway, that's a little bit about me.
It looks really cool. I have my office is also, it's our bonus room over our garage, which used to be the kids' play area, but mine never grew up. It just kind of absorbed everything. So
Yes.
I'm super jealous.
We redid floors. I mean, we learned a lot of new things, and we didn't fight. It was really great. We got through it. We were a good team, and I just needed something bright. I needed some bright colors and things that I could look at that just make me smile. So we went for it.
I love wallpaper.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we had that comment from Deanna too. She loves the wallpaper. So I think it's unanimous.
Wayfair, guys. I got it at Wayfair. So very nice. It really comes from the UK, I think. So
funny.
There you go.
I was going to say, Dawn, if you put springy wallpaper like that in your office, it wouldn't matter if it was snowing outside. You would still be happy because it would look like spring all year long.
That's right. That's right.
I might have to, with my daughter leaving, we're going to be shuffling some bedrooms around, and I get my own office down here.
They'll get you out of the closet.
Yeah.
You get out of the closet, and he's like, you could do romance happy hour in your own room.
That's right.
You can shut the door. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. So, yes.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, well, your poor daughter, you're just going to kind of boot kick her right out the door, huh? Or drop kick her, I guess is what I mean.
We tried, but we only kicked her as far as my sister's house. So she's moving over to my sister's house to nanny and then go to school to be an esthetician. So she's kind of doing both. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Ivy, you're up. Tell us a little bit about what you write and anything else you want to tell us about.
All right. So I'm Ivy Nelson. I write a lot of BDSM club romance. I am actually coming to you from Chicago for a kink convention. So I like to write
nice.
some things.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great weekend. But I have 3 different series. I have basically set all of my kink clubs in kind of the same world so that my characters can visit each other. But the book I'm actually going to be reading from tonight is the kickoff to a brand new series, brand new club. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
And we are super excited to hear about it because you said it's part of your Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. So I did a Kickstarter because what I wanted to do, Kickstarter is kind of this like, if you want to do something like bougie and fancy with your books, like Kickstarter is a really great place to go because you're basically telling people, here's this cool thing I'm going to give you, but I need the money up front because some of the stuff is a little more expensive to do, right? So people are basically like backing a project that you're going to do. And it kind of gives you the funds ahead of time. So I'm getting to do some really cool things. I'm treating it like we're calling it a grand opening for this club.
That's fun.
So the book boxes aren't book boxes, they're membership boxes.
Nice.
So people they actually get a custom made, my husband does leather work. So we're getting a custom made collar. We're doing hand dyed rope. We're doing a custom membership card. Just a lot of really fun stuff. So I'm excited about that. And I'm actually, the Kickstarter ended already, but I'm giving away tonight one of the mini book boxes from that project. So
great.
Super excited.
Fun. I do have one question real quick. You said you were at a kink convention. So without getting kink, K-I-N-K.
I thought you said cake. Did it sound like she said cake?
At first I was like, did she say? But yeah, no, I picked up on
like,
what
no, it's not.
Hey, it's apparently it's my accent. I mean, I guess my Montana accent
I love it.
makes kink sound like cake.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
So my question was, without getting, violating our PG-13 rule.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you do at this convention?
So we get all kinds of things. We are it's a very adult conference, so I'll say that. We have classes that teach you how to do things safely. So like during the day, it's just like any other convention that you go to. There's classes, there's panels. The stuff we have in our bags is just a little more interesting.
Goodie bags.
Yeah, so we do people bring toy bags and you can use your imagination, and then at night we have a big, very adult grown-up party in the ballroom. And last year, I'm trying to think, I think this should be okay to say, I actually got suspended in saran wrap, and I looked like an angel in bright green saran wrap. So we do all kinds of fun stuff.
That's kind of cool.
I want to come.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, that's the first time I've heard of this conference.
There are many that happen all over the country.
Wow.
I work for this volunteer coordinator, so I spend most of my weekends just running around making sure everything is working the way it's supposed to. But I do get to have a little bit of fun.
Is it a writing conference too, or is it just like the kink?
This is just kinky people just hanging out.
Gotcha. Interesting. Do you
I
meet
love
any authors?
comment.
Any other authors?
Oh, sorry.
Bring on the whips, Linda.
No, where she said you can have your kink and eat it too.
Eat it too. Yeah. I feel like that's where you're at right now, ID.
Yes, when I thought you said cake. So
yeah,
she meant cake. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's pretty cool.
Is.
And so that's a hotel room behind you.
Yep.
And wow.
So if you're joining us from Chicago, head downtown and you can check this out tomorrow.
Do they take walk-ins? We do have
like you have to be registered and Yep. So
that makes sense. Something to plan ahead for next year, Dawn.
Yeah. Do you meet any other? Have you ever met any other authors at any of these?
There are a couple of authors here. They're more. I'm trying to think. Yes, is the short answer. I've met a couple. We
Yeah.
try not to, like out, because not everybody is able to be like as out as I am. I'm really lucky that I get to be. I can tell. I don't mind. I'm not gonna lose my job. I'm not gonna
Yep.
But there are people that have to be. So we are. We don't out each other. But
Yeah. So I think Linda has a question, but it's specifically for this conversation. We should
Yes.
probably ask it.
yeah.
Okay. Do they make you wear special wristbands?
For at the convention, yeah. So we do have different colors. We have a wristband system. You're not required to wear them, but if you're looking to connect with somebody as a top or a dom, there's a certain color. If you're looking to connect more as a bottom or a sub, there's another color, and then there's also a color for if you would just rather not have people talk to you at all. So.
Oh, there's that color.
Mm-hmm.
What's that color?
It's black.
I figured. I was
Yeah.
going to ask that, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to assume.
Yep.
It's the I'm an introvert, leave me alone color.
Yes.
So
And
Please don't
right
talk to me.
we also did like a no hugging please type signs that people could put on their
Oh.
badges and stuff like that. So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I mean, you learn something every day or every week, twice a month when you come to Romance Happy Hour, and now
Every episode.
there's this convention.
Yep. We're always
This is
learning.
super fascinating. Yeah.
that is
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. So
Well, on that note, should we get on to the reading?
yes.
Sure.
Okay. We're going to have Susan read for us first. And do you need to set anything up, or are you starting from page 1?
No, I'm not starting on page 1. I am reading Off Your Game, which
Okay.
is the first book in the Chicago Red Tails hockey series. And I'm starting in chapter 1, but it's not at the very beginning because my books are they're contracted through Podium. So Gabriel Spires and Stella Hunter have already recorded. So I'm only allowed to say so much on live. So I have
Really?
about,
Okay.
I think I timed it and it was like 8 minutes. I was like, okay, good. I'm not violating any contracts. But anyway, so this is it's sort of an enemies to lovers, kind of like a hate to lovers ordeal. Kobe Nelson is one of the hockey players, and he is one of the older members of the team, and he's kind of a real grump. And he has this thing about his game day ritual is eating a bowl of Lucky Charms. And you find out in the story why he does that. So we start out in the beginning of this first chapter with them losing a game, and he thinks it's all his fault, and he's just really grumpy about that. And the guys invite him out, but and he thinks he lost the game because he did not get his bowl of Lucky Charms. And so he says he's just going to go home. He, he's been a grump and he just needs to go home, but he needs to get his Lucky Charms on the way home. So this is where I start is trying to find that box of Lucky Charms and running into the female main character of the story.
All right.
Wait, am I going to give it away if I ask ahead of time, did she eat his Lucky Charms?
Dawn, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Patience. Patience.
No, she does not eat his Lucky Charms.
okay.
But you'll see. Okay.
All
Are you
right.
ready?
We will leave you to it, and we'll be back after.
Okay. Also, I should just say ahead of time, I'm really sorry. I'm going to try to like PG this down as much as I can because he's a little grump, so he likes to say the F word a lot. So I'm going to try my very hardest to make sure I do not say those words. So if you hear something funny, like pineapple or banana, you'll know maybe, oh, that's the F word. Okay. So I am starting, for those of you who might be reading along, I am starting halfway through chapter 1, which is Colby's point of view. I pull my car into the nearly empty lot of Meijer, realizing it's almost time for them to close for the night. Adjusting the gray beanie on my head in hopes I'm not recognized and forced to make small talk with fans, I quickly jog inside. This won't take more than a minute to grab a box of Lucky Charms and be out of their hair. I find aisle 10, where all the cereals are, and I run into what seems like the only other shopper in the entire store. And she's holding a box of Lucky Charms. Thank God they have some in stock. Excuse me, I murmur, only making eye contact for a moment. Smiling at the woman politely, I step past her and get to the product I'm looking for. No problem, she says, tossing her box of cereal in her cart and walking down the aisle. I lean down to grab some Lucky Charms for myself, but realize the bottom shelf is now empty. Crap, are you... My words are a whisper as my head snaps up toward the woman walking away from me. Wait, ma'am? The stranger turns. She's beautiful, which catches me off guard. A petite woman, she can't be more than 5'2" or 5'3" max. Her toffee brown hair frames her face in soft, shoulder-length waves, and her dark chestnut eyes catch mine as she turns around. Her face is slightly oval in shape, the pinkness in her cheeks from being outside accentuating the freckles bridging her nose. I can't tell much more about her with her winter coat covering her body, but if it's anything like the rest of her, I could seriously be interested, and I haven't had those thoughts for a long time. Thank God she appears pleasant enough to hopefully give me what I'm about to ask for. Yes? I gesture to the shelf beside me. Was that the last box of Lucky Charms? She gives me a sympathetic nod. Yeah, I think so. Sorry. She shrugs and turns back to head down the aisle. Without thinking, because all I came for was that darn cereal, I blurt out, "Can I have it?" I'm sorry? She turns again, her brows narrowing. Your Lucky Charms. Can I have them? She smiles awkwardly, and my body tenses because I can already tell what she's about to say. I'm sorry, this is the one thing I came in here for today. Tony's was out, so I had to travel to this end of town to find some. Maybe try the Meijer across town? My shoulders sag, and I tilt my head, frustrated. At this time of night, doesn't matter how fast I drive, they'll be closed by the time I get there. She winces. You're probably right. Look, can I just pay you for that box? I pull my wallet from my back pocket. I'll pay you triple what you would pay. How's $50 sound? I pull out a few bills and I hold them out to her. The woman juts her hip out and looks at me like I'm crazy. She might be right, but I hold firm, waving money in her face. You want to pay me $50 for a box of kids' cereal? Yes, I nod fervently. It's for my kid. Yeah, he's very sick, you see, and he's been crying for Lucky Charms, and I just got off work, and I'm trying to find some for him before I go home. A brow raises above her left eye, and her smile fades. Does that store usually work when you really want something? Because I believe they're having a sale on tiny violins in aisle 6, if that's the case. Yeah, I should have known this wouldn't work. All right, you drive a hard bargain. I pull out all the money in my wallet. It's a couple $100. How about all my money? You could order yourself several boxes with this. You're right, she nods. So you go ahead and do that. My Lucky Charms are not for sale. But they are for sale. I roll my eyes, annoyed. We're even having this conversation when she could just be nice and give me the box. You just haven't paid for them yet. Are you really serious right now? She asked, looking around as if I might be pranking her, and any minute now the camera crew is going to step out and have a good laugh. Look, I'm really sorry you were about 30 seconds too late getting here, and I beat you to the last box of cereal fair and square. I took the time to travel across town to get it, so I'm going to pay for it now and take it home. So tomorrow morning, before I start my new job, I can enjoy a bowl of my favorite cereal. I'm sorry about your luck. She gestures to the shelf next to me. Try the Magic Oats. I hear they taste the same. Like hell they taste the same, I gawk. Everyone knows the generic version is crap. My nostrils flare as I glare at the now evil woman whose only purpose now, I'm quite certain, is to make my night a living hell, even more so than the evening I just endured. I grip my teeth and I try to keep the vein that pops out of my forehead when I'm angry at bay. Okay, what is it you really want? A date? Is that what you want? A nice meal and maybe a little tongue action in exchange for the cereal? I size her up from head to toe, bobbing my head. She definitely checks all the marks in the attractive department, but hell if I'm going to admit that to her. You've got enough for me to play with, to hold on to. I can make it happen if it's what you want. Her confidence and sass is sexy enough. I wouldn't even have to pretend. Her mouth falls open and she slaps me in the face. Who the hell do you think you are? I laugh out loud, like you don't know. Our eyes meet and her expression is still disgusted, questioning look. It was a minute ago. When she doesn't say anything, my brows pinch. Wait, you really don't know who I am? She scoffs. Unless you're Ryan Reynolds, specifically dressed in his Deadpool costume and whispering ridiculously vulgar words in my ear before fudging my brains out, then I don't give two craps who you are. Ryan Reynolds kink, huh? Lady, you're a piece of work, you know that? Seriously, because I won't bend over and give you a fudging box of cereal? And you're calling me a piece of work? Forget annoyed, now I'm irritated. Yeah, I don't know why you're being so darn difficult. It's not like I didn't ask nicely the first time, and I'm offering you a crap ton of cash. Right, she flails her arm. You only offered dinner and quote-unquote tongue action for that box. My bad for not giving in to the ridiculous temptation standing in front of me. You're lost, princess. I roll my eyes. Women throw themselves at me like candy in a parade just about anywhere I go. Her cheeks bulge and she pretends to gag. Oh, sorry. I just threw up in my mouth a little. You know what? Fudge it, I murmur. You're impossible. And you're just some sexy guy with a full wallet, a sick kid, and aw, no Lucky Charms to take home to him. She smirks as she shakes her head. Hope you have more luck somewhere else. The evil serial witch has the audacity to wink at me before she turns for the final time and heads to the checkout counter. Standing here watching her, I'm literally wondering what would happen if I threw myself over her cart, grabbed the cereal, and hightailed it out of here. That would be a PR nightmare tomorrow. Coach would bench me for sure. Excuse me, sir. Is there anything we can help you find? We'll be closing in about 5 minutes. A young man, who can't be much over 20 years old, stands next to me in his Meyer polo shirt. No. I stop for some beer. I'll just be a minute. By the time I grab a six-pack and head to the checkout, the woman is gone from the store. I guess I won't be mugging anyone tonight. Not that I mug people regularly, or ever. But if I had given it some serious consideration, I think I could have actually done it tonight. As I climb into my car and turn the key, I stare out the window thinking back on that woman in the cereal aisle. And you're just some sexy guy with a full wallet, a sick kid, and, aw, no Lucky Charms to take home to him. Well, I suppose if there's one positive thing about the night, for as evil as she was, she called me sexy. Damn right I am. And that's the end of that portion of chapter 1. All of these books are an audio format. The third book of the series is coming out May 28th, so that's next Tuesday, I believe. And all of these books are available on Amazon and KU. And here's a special little secret that I haven't told a whole lot of people. I've only told my super secret little reading group. All of these books are getting a facelift 2 times over. They are going to be coming out in discrete covers and illustrated covers with all new formatting and some little special graphic surprises inside each one. So look at my Facebook page or TikTok or whatever for more information on that as it comes. They will be available soon. So that's that.
Very cool. Well, thanks for giving us some insider info.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I just have to ask you not to hate me if I just missed it in the reading, because I was writing down the questions too. But why did she need the Lucky Charms?
Well, she is starting a new job. She is actually getting a new job as the social media manager for the hockey team. So she will run into Colby again tomorrow, the next day. But she also loves Lucky Charms. And so that's what she wanted for her first day of work.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh man, she's really bogarting those Lucky Charms.
Right?
She must really need them.
Really didn't want him to have them either.
That's right.
Right. After that. So yeah, I loved your expressions as you were reading. Deanna said that also. You made it come alive. So yes, that was fun. That was fun. So do we have any questions?
I mean, we got Linda and Karen here, so we have some questions, and I'm pretty excited. It's been a while, Karen. I mean, we need you. We love you both, actually, Karen.
Oh, Karen, who is Stella's friend. I love Stella so hard. Like, you give that woman a hug for me and tell her how much I appreciate her, because she brought my books to life, and I'm just in love. Also, I want to be like Stella's bestie, so. Okay. You could introduce us.
Karen. They want to be besties. So
yes.
Just a little nugget there for you. Okay. So Karen has the first question today for us. What is the hardest part of the story to write? Is it the beginning?
If I were to answer that question, it would be like the first 25,000 words. At my work in progress right now stalled at about 20,000 words, and I was like ripping my hair out. If you were to ask my husband that question, he would say it's when I'm halfway through a book, because I always end up crying and telling him I don't think I can do this, and this book is crap, and no one's going to read it, and it's terrible. And then he's like, Susan, you know you do this for every single book, right? And I'm like, okay. And then I pull my big girl pants back up, and I get through it. So to me, it's the beginning. Yes. It's not the very beginning, because usually I have like here's how I'm going to start this. But then it's like, chapter 3. I'm like, oh, I didn't really make a plan, because I'm not really the biggest planner. I don't like write like super detailed outlines. I just kind of say, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. But I don't really plan how that's going to happen.
Yep.
Sometimes I run into my own roadblocks. I get in my own way a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That.
I'm
What
just
about you,
smiling
Ivy?
because that sounds a lot like me. And I'm writing a book, and my husband does the same thing. I'm like, yes. It's like, yeah. This book
It's
will
good that
never
he
be
reminds
done.
me, though, that like, you do this all the time, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, you're right. I'll settle down.
Yep.
Yep.
What about you, Ivy?
For me, it's actually the end. I really have a hard time ending books. Because I feel like it's a romance and they all end the same. And I'm like, I want it to be different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I struggle with the end, and a lot of times it's okay, how do I get them out of this hole that I have dug for them and get them to this happy ending? So I usually do really well up until like the 75 to 80% mark, and then that last 20% is just so painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you
And-
like, I have to get here. How come you
Mhm.
people aren't helping me out with this? And you're talking to
Exactly.
your characters at that point, and you're like, help me out.
I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes there are days where I just want to be like, and they lived happily ever after. Done.
Mhm.
I tend to end a little bit too fast, and I'm like, oh, readers don't want that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have been. Some of my reviews say that I rush my endings.
Yes, me
I've been
as
working
well.
on that.
Yep.
Yep.
I think it's hard not to sometimes, though, because, like you said, you know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
And so, when you finally get to that point, it's like, yay!
Yes. So excited to
Exactly,
write it,
yep.
usually.
Right.
Yeah.
How about for you, Dawn?
Okay. I think it's the female character, actually. That's the hardest part for me to write. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think I identify, like, I can kind of get more in my male characters' heads than my female characters' heads. And I think that shows because I feel like people connect more with my male characters than they do my female. Anyways, that's just me. What about you, Dylan?
I think it's the middle, because I'm always
Yeah,
excited to get
snag in the middle.
started, and I know how it's going to end. But then all that stuff that has to happen in the middle, you get into the middle, and it's just, usually, I don't know if you're following kind of like it used to be that, the halfway mark was traditionally where they got together for the first time. Although I think, that's kind of blown out of the water now, because some of them get together and, page 2. But yeah, it's so the middle, like it used to be that you kind of know what you're writing towards, and then, they'd get there and then you'd have the rest of it. But yeah, now I think it's the middle,
Yeah.
because a lot of
All
stuff
right.
has to happen in the middle, but
Yeah.
it's not always
And
the
you're
fun
like,
stuff.
yeah, and you're always like, how is this going to happen? And like, meh, this is so boring. This is how it happens, but it's boring. It's not the kissing. It's not the HEA. It's not the meet cute,
Mm-hmm.
That's another hardest part of
Okay.
the story to write, I think, is the steamy scene. Like sometimes
Really?
steamy, like
Pretty
they're
much,
all you don't want them to sound the same, so you
Right.
need something different to happen. And I'm just like, oh, what position can they be in now?
Yeah. And
I
how
think
does it
because
work?
I write.
Yes, yeah. How can I get them there? And how does this work? Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of what I write, I have a lot of options
Mm-hmm.
for bringing different tools into play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of my characters have ever been suspended in green saran wrap. So
No, I'm gonna have to write that down.
Well, the next book they might be now, thanks to Ivy.
That's right.
Yeah. We did once have an author who said when she like really gets stuck, but mind it, she was a historical author. She will put on the costume and see how her husband takes it off her. So, I mean, that helped out, I guess. You could always do that for the steamy. Put
That's
on
a
the
good
costume and
idea.
see how your husband takes it off you.
Great idea, Dawn.
Here's the saran wrap.
I feel like we're
Present saran wrap. How are you going to take this off me?
a little feisty tonight.
We are. Let's go on to the next question here. It's Linda. They're battling for questions, and we love hers.
Oh.
What are other authors are you friends with?
Cassandra Medcalf is just one of my favorite people. I talk to her probably every single day. She writes a lot of rom-coms, LGBTQ, queer community rom-coms. And she's just a fantastic person. She's very happy. She is also she's also a narrator, and she has narrated 2 of my books, 2 of my rom-coms. D. Lilac is another one I talk to very often. Kristen McQueen I talk to very often. There are so many great ones. I'm doing a multi-author series right now. My book will be coming out in July, but they've already started. I might get them all. I will say them all wrong, but they're all on my Facebook page, and I don't want to miss one person, so I won't say them all. But Cassandra Medcalf is part of that group, and we've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff together. So very excited. Yes.
Hey, just tell us the group. Tell us the group, and then the viewers can go, or the series, or the world.
It's called the Tuft Swallow series.
Okay.
It's all bird puns.
Okay. Tuft, Tuft.
Yes.
For a second, I thought this is like the day of like mishearing words, and I thought you said tuft too.
Tuft Swallow. Yes, everything's birds. And it's this small town rom-coms or small town romances, and each author has a different book that's going to come out and different characters in the town. And the funny part is that for me, I'm ending the series, and there's a character. Well, first of all, there's a goat in the town. His name is Winston. He's kind of the town mayor, and he kind of like just walks around the town wherever he wants to go, and sometimes wreaks havoc, and sometimes he doesn't. But Winston has a dad, and nobody really knows his name. So they call him Winston's hot dad. And so my book is all about who Winston's hot dad really is and his story. But it's all about Cass Medcalf's book that's coming out. I think hers is also in July. It's huge about cornhole, because cornhole is this huge thing that happens in the town. They're cornhole champions, and it's so much fun. It's corny, and it's fun, and it's steamy, and I just cannot wait. We've been having so much fun building this world. So it's great. Tough to swallow.
And I'm going to say clearly this is a small town romance.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I know that because there are goats that are famous in my town. I'm known as Lane and Wyatt's mom.
Really?
And yes, yeah. And our
fantastic.
goats are not the mayor though, but the twins. Everybody knows the twins. They take their goats for a walk down Main Street every day. So everybody knows the goats. So
I might have to
I
might have to call you for some research questions. So
spot on. Yeah,
you're
awesome. You're right up there. What about you, Ivy? Who are your author friends?
I'm friends with a lot of really cool people. I'm friends with an author named Lasarina McMaster, who writes hockey romance, and then she also writes BDSM club romance under Lasarina Lewis, and I'm in love with her characters in that series. And then I do a retreat every year with Sarah Massery, Ashley Jade, Daniela Romero, who also writes sports kind of bully romance, C.S. Barry, and then Ellie Pond. And those are all I sprint with those ladies every day. So we all write some version of steamy romance. So.
Fun. Yeah. Sorry, Dylan, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to say, let's do one more, and then let's hear from Ivy. So, and you were already on top of it.
We're
reading my mind tonight.
Yeah, it's the Meg Ryan here. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing since I published my first book in 2015. So however many years that is, 9 years. But only full time since the pandemic happened, because I was a substitute teacher at the time and was like, oh well, I'm not working anymore, so I may as well just jump full time into writing. So I've been writing since 2015, but more seriously since 2020.
Nice. Yeah, I've been since December of 2018 was when I published my first book.
Awesome.
And again, 2020 was about the time that I really got serious about it too. So.
Yeah.
I think we all had a lot of time to get serious about
Yeah.
it in 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, no kidding. All right.
How about you,
Well,
Dylan? Wait, Dylan. How long have you been writing?
Well, I've been writing a lot longer than since I've been published, but my first published book came out in July of 2018. But I was writing for a couple of years before that. I just hadn't done anything with anything yet. So
Yeah.
well, and I went trad with my first book too. So it took me like a year to get my agent, then a year to get my publisher, and then it took like 18 months to get, my publishing date. So so yeah, so that was a long journey.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about talking to like people who don't know anything about, like, oh yeah, how did you get your first book published? And you're like, well, I wrote it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then I queried agents for a couple of years, and then I got one. And then it was a couple more years later till it hit the shelves. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you go the trad route, it can be a long time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. Or you can write a book and pop
Put
it
it
up
up
there
there.
because it's just, I don't know. Self-publishing has made things so much more accessible, which is why,
It has.
I love it.
Not just self-publishing, and also like Wattpad, like I still have like this girl, this new mom that I work with. She's so cute. She's like, she just confessed to me maybe a couple weeks ago that she reads romance, right? And I'm like, be proud, like loud and proud that you read romance. And she's like, I've discovered Wattpad. Have you heard of that? I'm like, yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, these stories. And like, she always tells me about the stories that she reads on Wattpad. And I'm like, you should read one of mine. I'll like give you one. Anyways. All right, Dylan, we should hear from Ivy.
Yes. All right, Ivy, you are up. What are you sharing with us tonight? And do we need a setup, or where are we jumping in?
I'm going to be reading the first chapter of a book that's not actually out yet. It is the Kickstarter book. And the link that you're going to get is for a form that I need to change something in it, so it's not turned on yet. But I'm going to do that as soon as we get off the show. But you'll have the link for it if you would like to get late access, basically, to the Kickstarter. So it's about a brand new BDSM club in New Orleans. And we're going to start off with a woman named Ava, who is a celebrity photographer. So,
all right, we will see you after.
All right. And I'm not as great of a reader as Susan was, so I can't do voices or sound effects, but here we go. Ava shifted her weight from one stiletto-clad foot to the other, fingers nervously smoothing the silk of her midnight blue cocktail dress. The indistinct murmur of the gathered crowd filled her ears as the curator for Amethyst, an upscale art gallery, droned on, extolling her talents as a photographer and an artist. These types of events always made Ava uncomfortable, but her assistant and PR team made it clear that they were necessary given her notoriety. To Ava, the gallery director sounded like he was talking about someone who had discovered the cure for cancer instead of a photographer with a passion for capturing all sides of humanity and the architecture humans could create. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the woman of the hour, Ava Monroe. Applause erupted, and Ava took a deep breath. Pasting on a practiced smile, she moved to the center of the gallery. The lights felt too bright, the room too warm with so many bodies pressed close to get a glimpse of her. It wasn't a large gallery, but it was one of the most prestigious in New Orleans. There was a time she would have been lucky to get a single photograph on display. Now, the entire gallery was filled with her work for tonight's show, and everyone was there to see her. Not only that, but the exhibit would remain in place for the rest of the month. It still blew her mind. It was not the life she'd set out to have, but the crowd was waiting for her to talk about her art. That she could do with ease. Thank you all for coming, Ava began, her voice soft but steady. This exhibition is my love letter to New Orleans, to her people and her architecture. As you know, I grew up here, and while I've been lucky enough to travel the world with my camera in tow, New Orleans will always be my favorite city to capture. She paused for the smattering of applause and titter of excitement that rippled through the crowd. You'll find the gallery divided into two parts. On the left, the Faces of New Orleans, a collection of portraits spanning the diversity of our vibrant city, from the esteemed mayor to the lively performers in the Mardi Gras parades, to a homeless man who reminded me you can find beauty in the world even in the toughest times. These are the souls that make up the heartbeat of our great city. Ava paused again, her gaze sweeping from the left side of the room back to the crowd listening intently. Then she swept her hand to the other side. To the right, you'll discover the Bones of New Orleans, an homage to the architectural gems that whisper stories of our rich history, passing them from generation to generation. I hope as you explore these images, you'll fall in love with New Orleans all over again, just as I do every time I raise my camera and explore from behind the lens. But that's enough from me. Thank you all again for being here. Please browse and enjoy. And remember that half of tonight's proceeds will go to local food banks, so please inquire with gallery staff if you're interested in purchasing a piece. More applause and a few cheers erupted before the crowd dispersed, eager to absorb Ava's art. She exhaled slowly, moving through the throng of attendees towards the right side of the gallery. She smiled and paused for small talk when people asked, but she was eager to be out of the crowd. When she got to the architectural section of the gallery, she made her way to the centerpiece of the show, a breathtaking shot of Fontenot Manor, its elegant facade bathed in the colors of a gorgeous New Orleans sunrise. Ava could still remember the morning she'd captured the image, the way the mist clung to the sprawling trees, the silence of the sleepy morning broken only by the distant calls of a few birds. She'd experienced a strange pull towards the mansion, as if it were eager to spill its secrets into her lens. Staring at the photograph now, a shiver raced down Ava's spine. The estate had been for sale when she took the picture, and no one had lived in the mansion for several years, not since before one of the most prominent living members of the Fontenot family vanished without a trace 4 years ago. Before Ava could get permission to photograph the inside, it was purchased by a company based in Colorado. Now it was more than an old family estate. No, it wasn't just more, it was something else entirely. The exclusive and mysterious Solitaire Mansion. Ava wet her lips, her mind wandering to the rumors she'd heard about the place, whispers of decadence and dark pleasures indulged behind closed doors. Her thirst for adventure and exploration made her curious about the club, but she was afraid to push beyond the safety of the boundaries she'd built around her heart, around her entire life. One day, she promised herself, she would overcome that fear and pay a visit to Solitaire Mansion, but that was for another time. Tonight, she had to keep her smile bright as patrons navigated the labyrinth that was her exhibit. With a final glance at the historical mansion's photograph, Ava turned to greet more of her guests. As the evening wore on, she stayed close to her favorite picture, turning to stare at it in the moments she found herself alone, pondering the beauty and darkness the image seemed to evoke. Ava's musings were interrupted by the sound of a familiar voice cutting through the crowd. "There you are, superstar!" Catherine Graves, Ava's best friend and confidant, appeared with a bright smile. Her presence was a welcome addition to the sea of unfamiliar faces. Catherine's keen eyes swept over Ava, analyzing everything about her posture and expression before she spoke. "How are you holding up, sweetie? I know these events can be overwhelming, even for a local celebrity like you." Ava chuckled, shaking her head. "I'm hardly a celebrity, Cat, but you're right, it's a lot to take in." Catherine grinned. "Can you believe the mayor showed up to see the picture of herself?" Ava shrugged. "It's a damn good picture." "It makes her look good anyway," Catherine grumbled. Ava let her eyes fall on the image again, wishing she were behind her camera instead of showing off her work this way. Catherine followed Ava's gaze, her own eyes widening slightly as she took in the image. "You're such a talented bitch. If I didn't love you so much, I would hate you." She looked closer to the image. "Wait, isn't that the old Fontenot place? The one that got turned into some kind of exclusive club?" Ava nodded, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Solitaire Mansion is the name. It's a BDSM club, Cat. Can you believe it? Most of the Fontenot family would roll in their graves if they knew what became of their mansion." Catherine let out a low whistle, her eyebrows arching in surprise. "Wouldn't you just love to get in there and take pictures of it now?" She shot Ava a sly glance, a knowing smirk tugging at the corners of her mouth. "I've seen the porn you read. You're dying to check it out, aren't you?" A flush crept up Ava's neck as her pulse quickened at the thought. I mean, I'm curious. From a purely artistic standpoint, of course." She tried to play it off, but the gleam in Catherine's eyes told Ava that her friend saw right through her attempts at nonchalance. Of course, purely artistic. Catherine's tone was laced with good-natured teasing, but there was an undercurrent of understanding there, too. She knew Ava better than anyone, and there was no way she believed her curiosity had anything to do with her art. As the two women stood side by side, their gazes locked on the photograph that captured Ava's imagination, the bustling gallery seemed to fade away, replaced by a tantalizing promise of secrets waiting to be uncovered. For a fleeting moment, Ava allowed herself to imagine a world where she got to discover what lay beyond the mansion's elegant facade. But the moment passed as quickly as it had come, and Ava was pulled back into the present by the gentle pressure of Catherine's hand on her arm. "Come on, superstar, your adoring public awaits." With a final lingering glance at the photograph, Ava allowed herself to be led back into the fray, her mind still swirling with thoughts of Solitaire Mansion and the mysteries it held, including the one secret that had plagued her since before the mansion was turned into an adult playground. One day, she promised herself once more, she would find a way to unravel those secrets. But for now, she had to be content with the photograph. It hung on the wall, calling to her like a silent invitation to explore her own desires, as well as the more dangerous secrets that may lie beyond Solitaire Mansion's doors. And that is the end of chapter 1.
Woohoo.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I know. Now I want to I want to know what the picture looks like. Did you have for your Kickstarter? Did you have anybody do like a rendering of the house or anything? Or
Okay, this is hilarious. I didn't do that, but I should. What I did, I played The Sims, so I actually built it in The Sims, and I'm doing a video walkthrough, and that's one of the rewards that the Kickstarter folks are going to get.
That's cool.
Ooh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
My kids have been playing The Sims. Maybe I need to check their accounts to make sure they're not building BDSM clubs and
Yeah.
There are mods, like you can download these mods and like actually get furniture and stuff. Like,
Oh.
But is there like a kink expansion pack? Because that would be
not
cool.
officially, but there are some people who have made some crazy stuff for The Sims.
Mhm.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's funny.
We do have a lot of questions, Dylan.
Okay, well, let's
Sorry.
get to it. I was just going to say, Linda said she is intrigued. So
Yeah.
Well, the book
I
is
think
called
that-
The Allure, so I'm very excited that
Yes.
it's intriguing.
Yeah.
very intrigued. So
I am not going to get to all of these questions actually. So if you ladies want to go back later on.
Okay.
I am going to just kind of pick and choose a couple here. And then I know which one I'm going to end it with, because it would be the perfect question to end it with. So let's do this one. And this is from Karen. Do you hide Easter eggs? She has fun adding them, especially for Dylan.
she's actually referring to the avocados that she has planted in her books.
That's awesome. I love plant little Easter eggs in my books, especially because they're interconnected. So I like doing just little things, little callbacks to other series. So like, I know my fans that are really into like the Mafia series. I'll put little references in my other series to them, and it just makes them really excited. But yes, I love doing stuff like that.
How about you, Susan?
Yeah, same. All of my books that are in a series are also interconnected. So I always hide things like, or if there's a instance where one character is reading a book, it's usually one of my other books that I'll bring up, or in one of the books. In fact, I think in my last hockey book, I had characters basically saying their own titles in the book and just kind of use those titles in the story. So all kinds of little things that I can stick in there that makes the reader go, oh my gosh, then yeah, I stick it in there just to see if they're paying attention.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
Okay. How about this one? What book is on your bedside table?
I mean, my Kindle is, and I'm trying to remember what I'm reading right now. It's a really cute book too. It's about a really shy, introverted girl named Rose, and Rose is in the title, and it's gonna bug me. But my Kindle is like somewhere else. Yeah, I have basically 1,000 books by my bedside table because I have my Kindle.
Is it also a BDSM?
That one is not. It's like a billionaire. Yeah. What is the name of that? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. You probably should post it in the comments.
Yeah.
Because
now we're all going to be curious.
Now we all want to know.
Yes.
For me, this is really bad, but I don't have any books currently on my bedside table. Usually it would be my Kindle, if anything, but up until just a couple days ago, actually, I had a copy of 50 Shades and a copy of Bared to You by Sylvia Day.
Awesome.
And I had them underneath my bedstand because I couldn't put them on my shelf when I had younger kids because I didn't want them pulling that off the shelf. So I had them in my bedroom under my bedstand. And so when I just pulled them out the other day, they were, of course, a little bit dusty. But now they are sitting proudly on my bookshelf. So
nice.
Whatever. My daughter's 17. If she opens it up, she opens it up. What am I going to,
yeah.
Can't stop her.
I pulled it up on my phone, by the way. It's called Beautiful Rose of the Elixir Billionaires series.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Whew,
Yeah.
I would have not been able to fall asleep tonight until I knew the answer to that.
Okay, so what advice would you get for new authors? What advice do you have for new authors?
I would say don't be afraid to just write really crappy drafts. I know sometimes we agonize over those first stories that we write. Just get something on the page because you can't edit the blank page. But then the other thing I would say is don't be afraid to approach other authors in the community and ask them for swaps and, advice. And like most of us are really like, we sit at home and we don't have a lot of friends and like we would love for you to talk to us.
So essentially what you're saying is we're all introverts.
Yeah. But we're happy to have people talk to us. We just don't always want to start the conversations ourselves.
Except for Dylann. She's like our extroverted author, and that's why she's friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And so we expect her. We anticipate her coming to talk to us, like initiating the conversation.
That is so not true.
It is. You are so awesome. You're like you're so extrovertedly
I'm
awesome.
like an introverted extrovert though. When I go places, where I know I'm going to be around a lot of people and stuff, then I want to take advantage of being there and talking to people and everything. But usually, I don't leave my house a lot of time, like I sit at home and don't talk to very many people that much. So
okay, so I was just gonna be like, are you though? Because I have a feeling that you like when you bring your mail to the post office, you're like, oh hey, and you like know everybody's backstory at the post office, or like
just the one guy,
first name basis with the postman.
Well, because he knows I'm an author, so he'll always ask, like, what are you sending out this time? So, yeah, I just know the one guy.
I was gonna say he's not an author though, so
no.
Yeah. But he's a big part of your career. Okay, so we digress. Susan.
Yes.
What
advice
do you have?
I would first have to agree that you should definitely don't be afraid to contact other authors. Candy Steiner, Candy Ham, was so nice to me very early on. It was just a couple different simple questions that I had. And I had met her at a signing and was like, oh, she's nice. I'm going to ask her a question. And I couldn't believe that she wrote back. And so I have always remembered that and thought anybody who asks me a question, I'm going to help them. Like, because there are those authors out there, sorry to say, that aren't going to give you the time of day. But I don't want to be one of those people. So I will always try to answer a question or at least point you in the right direction. But I had Helena Hunting and Megan Quinn help me give me some advice on a cover a couple years ago. And I've never forgotten that they, like, to me, like those are my idols. And so I was like, I can't believe these ladies gave me the time of day to help me on something like this. So kindness goes a long way. But also, you don't have to spend a crap ton of money early out. Like
Yeah.
you don't. I mean, you want to have good editing and you want to have a cover that is going to match what people who write your genre are doing. So my biggest advice really would be to, if you're designing your cover, or you're trying to decide what you want, or you're talking to a cover designer, go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever and find as many book covers that you think match your story and put them all together and look at them and say, what is the same here? Are they all man chests? Are they all illustrated? Are they all, flowers and whatever? So you want it to kind of look similar. You want it to look similar. So do your homework and don't pay all this money for all these tutorial things that you think you need, because you don't. Just write your book, do your homework, ask questions.
Yeah. Good advice.
Good advice.
Okay, with that, we are 1 minute over. So I got one more question, if that's okay, Dylan. And I think this is a good, this is the question I've been waiting to post up here for, like, the exit question. And here we are. What social media platform is your favorite and why? And let's add in there, where can they find you the most, hanging out the most?
So for me, I think it's Facebook. Like, I hate the Facebook feed, but my Facebook group is my absolute favorite. I feel like I really get to connect with my readers there. I'm there every day. We do really silly things. We have a lot of fun. I used to host a thing every week called Drink and a Kink, but then I have a 6-year-old and it's kind of hard to do as often, but I try to do that a few times a year. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. So for me, it's Facebook.
For me, it's totally TikTok. For so many reasons, but I mean, the TikTok community is what kind of propelled me into leveling up in this business. So I will forever be grateful to the people at TikTok, the book talkers, readers, whatever. So thank you if you're all on TikTok. But I feel like, especially early on, I do a lot of not ads, but I do a lot of more promotional videos for my hockey books now. But I feel like TikTok is the one spot where people actually get to see me and hear me and get to know my personality, my energy. And if they like that, then great. And if they don't, they can scroll on. But in Facebook, they see my posts, or they might see my face, or they might see a video every once in a while. But you see me a lot on TikTok because I try to put myself out there so people are seeing my personality to try to decide if I'm somebody that they might jive with. Also, TikTok has so many puppy and kitty videos. It's like a rabbit hole for days. So you can't not watch puppy and kitty. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Cooking.
My daughter watches cooking videos all the time. We've tried so many new recipes. I don't know. I'm a TikTok lover. I don't try to get into the dark rabbit hole areas, and I try to scroll past the negativity people. But I mean, puppies and kitties. You start your day with a smile. So I love TikTok.
Yeah. My husband sends me a lot of videos, like just random videos,
Yes.
and I always think, well, maybe I should send him back. But then I realize, all the videos that pop up are like, oh, look at me making this chocolate. And look at me cake. Look at me making this cake. And I'm like, he doesn't care about chocolate and cake. I mean, he does on his birthday, but yes. All right, Dylan, we are over time again.
All right. I know it happens every time. So we're used to it. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget to swing by the Romance Happy Hour Facebook page to enter the giveaway. Susan Renee, you have got a signed paperback, and I'm doing this from memory now because you want to just tell us what you have signed paperback?
Yeah, I'm doing a signed paperback of I think any one book in the hockey series if you're in the US, and if you're an international giveaway winner, you can choose any 2 of my ebooks that you want.
Great. And then Ivy, you have got one of your little mini book boxes that you're giving away.
Yep, and also for that, if an international winner is chosen, you'll get a whole bunch of digital goodies plus a flat pack in a regular envelope of some fun swag. So.
Great. All right. So yeah, that'll be open through the weekend. So head over and get your entry in for that. And then Dawn, we will be back the second Thursday of June.
Awesome.
I can't believe it's already almost June. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
But yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We will see you then. And I hope you all have a great weekend.
Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.